Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Santosh. As a part of Agentic AI series, in the first few videos we discussed about what is meant by Agentic AI and how one can able to design Agentic AI solution using the existing frameworks that are available right now. And also we discussed about the importance of LLM in this Agentic AI framework. Also, we went through one of the agentic framework which is most popular nowadays, which is AutoGen. So this AutoGen framework is powered by Microsoft. This will help us to design agentic AI solution with much lesser code and provide lot of configuration that will help us to design better agentic AI solution. As a part of this series, we already discussed one of the feature of the AutoGen framework called chart termination. So this feature helps us to decide when to terminate the conversation between the two agents. In the current video that we are going to discuss about one more feature of the AutoGen framework, which is called as human in the loop. So this will help us to enable the feature of providing the feedback while initiating the agentic configuration. That means we can decide when to provide the feedback to the agent or at what kind of situation we can able to provide the input to the agents. This will help the agent to be in a right way. If we see like the agent is not in the right direction which we want to perform, then we can able to correct the agentic action by providing the human input or else by providing the feedback. Okay, let's see one of the case which we already discussed in the previous video. So we want to design support ticket management solution or ticket management workflow using agentic configuration. So here we are using 4 different agents. One agent is used to read the ticket, and another agent to classify the ticket, and third agent to extract the information important information from the ticket, and the fourth agent will analyze all this information and provide the resolution to help the user what kind of actions that the respective user has to take to resolve that issue. Okay, in this way these 4 agents work together and fulfill the whatever user want to have it. For example, there is a case where user sends some message and ticket reader agent read the ticket and provide the details to the classifier agent. Now classifier agent analyze the ticket and classified the ticket would be something like technical issue. Then the extractor agent will extract the important metadata or important field that are required to resolve this technical issue. So by extracting all these details, now these details will be sent to the resolution agent. Now resolution agent take all the information that provided by the previous agents and analyze the ticket and try to resolve the issue, try to provide some kind of guidance to the user. So when analyzing the ticket, the resolution agent thought that this ticket is out of its control, where it don't know what kind of action it's supposed to do for the given ticket or for given scenario. If we don't have the functionality of providing the feedback to the resolution agent, then the resolution agent is stuck in this scenario and it unable to provide any kind of information to the user. So that's where the feature of human in the loop will come into picture. So in this kind of complex cases, if we have this feature, then resolution agent will pass this information to the human and will expect some kind of feedback from him. Then human guide the resolution agent to resolve the issue by considering some certain other condition. Then resolution agent can able to fix the issue and provide the satisfactory results to the user. In this way, by having this feature of human in the loop enables agent to get feedback from the user and to correct its action or get some kind of information wherever the agent is unable to understand, unable to process certain action. Okay, I hope now you got high level understanding of how this human in the loop helps to configure better agentic AI solution. Okay, now let me take you through the code of AutoGen to understand little more detail about how we can able to configure this feature by using AutoGen framework. Okay, using AutoGen framework we can able to configure this human in the loop functionality. But how you can able to do? So there is a parameter that helps us to configure this human in the loop configuration or human in the loop feature. Let's see how to do that. Okay, so there are three different ways we can able to provide details to the agent to accept the human input or reject the human input. So what are those three different ways and how we can able to configure? Okay, so let's try to discuss on that. So there is a parameter called human input mode. So this is the one of the parameters that the agent has that will enable us to configure this human in the loop feature. So there are three different values that this parameter can accept. One would be the never. So the never means the agent will never expect any kind of input from the user. So in situations like if you want to perform autonomous operation where there should not be any kind of intervention during any workflow execution, in those kind of cases this feature helps us to not delay or not wait for any kind of feedback from the user, continue whatever agent thinks. Okay, there is one more parameter called terminate. So this parameter will help whenever the agent comes to the end of the loop or comes to towards the end of the conversation. So there it will expect the human to provide some kind of feedback, whether to continue the conversation or if human feedback is not provided, then it will close the conversation. So in the terminate states, if this configuration helps us to provide some kind of input during the terminate state of the agent. Okay, so there is one more parameter called always. So using this parameter, every time the agent expect the feedback from the user. So using this we can able to skip also where if you don't want to provide any feedback and you feel like agent is working as expected, then you can continue the conversation. So that kind of functionality also we can able to perform by configuring human input mode equal to always. And one more functionality we can perform is intercept. So for example, if you feel like the agent is kind of performing to certain extent and it is kind of deviating whatever we want the agent to perform, so in those cases you can intercept the conversation and provide the feedback and guide the agent to come into the track where we want the agent to perform the action in certain way. Okay, and the third use of this parameter is terminate state as well. So as we discussed in the previous configuration terminate, similar way here also using always we can able to provide the feedback towards the end of the conversation. I mean wherever the agent want to stop the conversation, so in those stages we can able to provide the feedback to the agent to continue the conversation, or if we skip the feedback then the agent will terminate the conversation. Okay, so these are the three different ways we can able to configure whether the agent is required to have the human feedback or whether the agent can able to run autonomously without expecting human feedback. Let's go one by one of this parameter, how we can able to configure and what kind of results we can able to get by configuring each of the parameter. Okay, so let's go to the first parameter, human input mode equal to never. Let's see here. So here I am using the ChatGPT GPT-4o mini license, and now here I am defining two agents. One agent will hold the secret number and it provide the hints to the other agent to guess the number that it holds it. So the second agent will attempt to guess the number what the first agent is thinking of it. So here the first agent is thinking the number 75 and the second agent will try to guess the number. So the first agent will tell whether it is a too high or too low based on the number that the second agent guess it. Okay, so now see how it goes. Here you can see agent is not at all expecting any kind of input from the human. So it is continuously conversing with the other agent without expecting any kind of feedback. How it is possible? That's where the parameter human input mode equal to never helps us. So if you provide this parameter to the agents, then the agent will not expect any kind of input from the user, and it continued the conversation, and whenever it kind of sees the termination message or termination condition, it stopped the conversation. So here you can see, is the termination message equal to having some number 75, then the entire conversation flow will get stopped. We can see here also. So where the initial message we sent, I have a number between 1 and 100, guess it. Then the second agent tried to guess the number as 50, and the first agent guided like this is too low. Then the second agent guessed it as a 75. Since the second agent guessed the number 75, then the termination condition triggered, and which terminated the entire conversation. Okay, so this is how the human input mode equal to never helps us to design the workflow where human input is no more required, where you want to have the agents to work in an autonomous mode. Then this configuration will help. Now let's discuss about the second parameter, human input mode equal to always. So this parameter will be best in the cases where we want to have some kind of interactive AI workflows, and useful whenever we want to have human oversight throughout the workflow execution. So we want to understand whether the agent's workflow is in the right direction, or it is deviating from the direction where we want it to be there. And this will allow for us to have real-time intervention in decision making. That means it will allow us to understand the overall workflow execution flow, whether the agents are in the right direction, or it is kind of deviating from whatever we configure. Then we are allowed to intervene and correct the execution. Okay, so now let's see how we can able to use this parameter. So here I am creating one more agent, human proxy agent. So here I disabled LLM configuration to be false, because I don't want LLM to use to make this agent to work, because here I am kind of using human proxy. I mean, I am expecting human to guide this agent. So LLM is no more required for this agent to understand whether the task, how this task has to be done. So we are kind of introducing one more agent. That agent is human. For example, I am kind of involved in this workflow, then I act as this agent. So my mind will be the backbone for this agent. So here I will try to initiate the conversation with the first agent. So the first agent we already discussed, it has some number in its mind, and it will try to ask us to guess the number. If we provide the right number, then it will close the conversation, and if we won't provide the right number, then it will try to guide us to guess the right number. Okay, so let's see how it will work. Now okay, so now we kind of provided first message as 10, and the first agent guided us that it is too low. So now let's say 50. Okay, it is also too low. Now I will skip the message, so that means I will provide the escape. It's kind of so no human input received. So even though we skip the message, the entire conversation didn't break down. Okay, so let me guess the right number, 75. I'll guess it. So you can see the conversation kind of interrupted. Conversation kind of closed, because this is what the number the first agent is expected us to guess it. So this is how the parameter always will help us to have the flexibility to interrupt whenever we want, and provide the feedback whenever we want it, or close the conversation whenever we want it. Okay, so now let's discuss about the third parameter called as terminate. As we already discussed, this parameter will help us to configure the agent to decide whether I want to expect any kind of feedback from the user towards the end of the conversation. Okay, so now let's see here. We have the parameter called maximum consecutive auto reply equal to 1. So that means this agent will try to reply to the sender agent only once, and after that it will stop the conversation with the sender agent. That means it will only reply once to the same sender, and it will not reply again to the same sender. So if you mention 2, that means it will only reply 2 times to the same sender. So if the third time sender asks some kind of response from this agent, then this agent will not respond, because that is what the end of the conversation. Now this this agent, for every one reply from to the same ender, it expects a human feedback. If the human didn't provide the conversation, then it will end the conversation. If human provides some kind of input, then it will continue the conversation. Okay, so now let's see how it kind of helps. Now here, see, I have a number between 1 and is this number 50. Okay, so now the first agent replied too low. Now the second agent guessed 75. It already guessed in this case. So if I kind of won't provide any kind of input, then it will kind of close the conversation. If I provide the input, it will continue the conversation. So let's see, if I press the escape, that means cancel, then it kind of closed the conversation. If I kind of provide some feedback, let's see now. So now again it kind of expecting a human to provide input. I said like, yes, it's correct. Or maybe we'll say it's not wrong. Let's say correct only. Now see, it kind of continued the conversation, and after one reply, it again asked the human to provide the response. Now I will not provide the response, I will close the response. Now it's kind of closed the conversation. So this is how the human in the loop helps us to have better accuracy in the workflow execution, because human oversight is there throughout the workflow execution. This will help us to better control the flow of the agents execution. So as we discussed, if we see the agents are not in the path of whatever we want it to perform, then we can control it and we make it to work in the same direction what we want the agents to be there. And it will provide more trust, because human intervention is there, human oversight is there. This will provide the better accuracy and also enhances the trust from the customer stakeholders or from the users. And it also enable us to reduce the errors, because we are not continuously relying on the agents or its own LLM kind of capabilities. We are also providing human feedback during the execution. So this will help wherever we see the agent is in wrong direction, or wherever we see it kind of provides the wrong output, we can able to interrupt and provide the feedback and to make these agents to work as expected, as we want. Okay, so this is how this human in the loop feature helps. I hope you got some understanding of this feature. So in the next video, we are going to come up with one more feature of the AutoGen that will help us to design better agentic AI solutions. Thank you for watching the video. We will meet you in the next video. Thank you.